Feels like we can't really take a step at this point without hearing something about AI, agentic infrastructure, agentic LLM, something. And surprise, you're going to hear more about it in this video, but in a different way that I find most interesting in this space right now. So when I'm thinking about LLMs, I'm really thinking about it right now, at least, like in the world of Kubernetes. So because I'm in Kubernetes day in and day out, it makes sense for me to be thinking about how can agents help me within my current environment. So like, troubleshooting my environment. Hey, this pod is down. Hey, there's something wrong with zTunnel and my ambient mesh. Hey, what's going on with my gateway control plane? Or just like standard, hey, my application stack is down. What is going on? But taking that a step further, what about where you run everything at this point? Okay, so if you're in the world of Kubernetes, you're running everything from your monitoring solution, your observability solution, your declarative deployment solution. So like think about GitOps, your application stack, maybe even you're using KubeVirt for things like virtual machines to run on Kubernetes. So in the world of cloud native, if you're in that world 100%, or even if you're in that world a little bit, or if you're watching this video, you probably have something running in Kubernetes, or you're probably thinking about running something in Kubernetes. So why not your agents? Why not your agentic LLM infrastructure? So like, for example, if you're a healthcare company or if you're a financial institution and you're trying to think about how to run agents, how to get LLMs up and running to help you do whatever your company is doing. Maybe it's a piece of software, maybe it's a daily workflow, whatever it is. If you're already in Kubernetes or you're thinking about going to Kubernetes, why wouldn't you just run the agent in Kubernetes? It makes sense. Like, why go and do a different thing and have a different workflow and have a different set of tools and a different orchestration platform to do just the AI thing for you? It doesn't make any sense. And if agents are running in Kubernetes, they can be managed, secured, observed, deployed the same way as the rest of your environment. So again, why not do it that way? And that's really how I'm thinking about agentic within Kubernetes right now. Aside from, again, me, I'm thinking about it like, oh, this can help me troubleshoot my environment. I don't have to go look through 20 pod logs. I can open up an agent that's running in my cluster and say, hey, what's up with this pod? What's going on? And taking it a step further, I can deploy and manage my agents in a declarative fashion within a Kubernetes manifest, just like any other resource that I'm deploying, any other object that I'm managing within Kubernetes. So just like a pod or a config map or a deployment or whatever it is, however you're extending the Kubernetes API and implementing new CRDs, I can manage agents the same way. And that's where Kagent comes into play. And it's an open source tool, so you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to subscribe to anything. It's open source. So in this video, part 1 of this series, we're going to dive into the installation and the configuration from a UI perspective around all things Kagent. Now for my environment, just to showcase this, I'm running on an AKS cluster, but I've done this test on AKS, EKS, Gkey, Kind. I forget if I've done it on Minikube, but point being is I've done it pretty much everywhere, and I haven't seen a situation where I couldn't run Kagent. So you should pretty much be good wherever you want to run. But if you do run into any issues with, let's say, hey, Mike, I tried it with Kind with, X amount of resources and memory, just let me know in the comments, just out of sheer curiosity, and I'll see if I can help you out. So you have a couple of different options in terms of installation. You can utilize the Kagent CLI or command line interface, which we're going to be diving into in, I think, the second or the third video, or you can utilize Helm. And I like using Helm just because it feels more production ready, right? You could throw this Helm configuration in an application object via Argo CD if you want to deploy it in a GitOps fashion. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to install it the old fashioned way with Helm's command line interface. So first I'm going to install the CRDs, and this is going to allow us to utilize the APIs via Kagent in a Kubernetes manifest. Again, we're going to be doing that in a different video. Next, you're going to want to specify whatever LLM you want to use. So if you go to the Kagent providers, you'll see that there's a bunch readily available: Anthropic, OpenAI, Gemini. In my case, I always go with Anthropic just because I pay for the subscription, so I might as well. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to export, or rather create an environment variable with your LLM API key. And then you're going to see that I'm specifying here providers.default equals Anthropic. But like if it's Gemini, you're going to put Gemini here. Okay. And then you're just going to change this where it's going to say providers Gemini API key, right? Instead of, Anthropic. Now I already set up this environment variable. So all I have to do is just the install. And another thing that I'll point out here, I did the service type as load balancer just because instead of port forwarding, I'd rather just hit it via public LB because I'm running an AKS. So, I can just get that public IP address without having to do anything else. All right, and that's good to go. We'll give it a couple seconds or a minute to just get up and running. And then I'm just gonna run this command to get the IP address, right? It's pending at the moment. But if you said to yourself, hey, Mike, I'm running this locally, I don't want to utilize the load balancer option, you can literally just delete this line. Make sure that you delete this backslash as well. And then you can just do a port forward to the Kagent UI service over port 8080. All right, let's see if that LB is good to go now. Yep, all right, we should be good here. So I'm gonna copy this and then I'm gonna open up a web browser. All right, got my web browser open here. I think I gotta go to 8080. All right, and we are now up and running. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. And then I'm gonna click the purple let's get started button. Now, this is the UI approach or manual approach, whatever you wanna call it, to configure models and get them up and running and even use those models. You can use the declarative way with Kubernetes manifest or the command line interface via Kagent, which we're gonna see throughout this series. This is just the first video, so we're doing it, the UI way, just so you can get an idea on how to do it from a manual perspective, and then we'll learn how to automate it in the upcoming videos. All right, so I'm gonna choose existing, which in this case, because I said Anthropic is my default provider, I see my Claude LLM here. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna give this a name. I'm gonna say K8s Super Helper. The agent namespace is going to be Kagent because that's where the agent is installed. And then you can see I have a description here already. This agent can interact with the Kubernetes API to get information about the cluster. I'm gonna leave all this default because this is already pointing to Kubernetes tools, which is great. I'm gonna go to select tools, and there are, I forget what it was. I think there's like 150 or 180. I feel like it was a number like that, tools that are readily available here. So you can see like there's a section for Argo, there's a section for Cilium. And by the way, when we're talking about tools, we're talking about MCP servers, right? So MCP servers, tools. These are the tools within the MCP servers that we're utilizing to help us with our agent. As in, Claude already knows a lot of stuff about Kubernetes, but we want to give it a helping hand. We want to give it specific information that it can use to help us within our Kubernetes environment. So we have datetime, we have a whole bunch of Helms tools here, a whole bunch of Istio tools, and then some Kubernetes tools. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna select them all. And then we have Prometheus here, and then we have Shell. So I'm gonna click next and review. I'm gonna click create the agent. And then as we can see, boom, the agent was successfully created. And then I'm gonna go to finish and go to agent. And we can see it's not ready yet, but we're gonna give it a sec. All right, and we can see it doesn't say not ready anymore, so we're good to go. And I'm just gonna head over to VS Code really quick, so I wanna show you something. Now, if I run kubectl get pods namespace kagent, notice we have things like the Helm agent and the Istio agent and the Kubernetes agent. And here's our agent here running as a pod. So this agent, I don't know, I think this is cool, but the agents are actually running as pods within your Kubernetes environment. So you can manage them like any other object in Kubernetes, or rather any other pod, which I don't know, again, I find that really cool. So let me head back over to the browser real quick. All right, and then I'm gonna open up our new agent, and we got a bunch of different tools in here. So for example, we have the K8s get resources. So I'm gonna say, what pods are running in the Kagent namespace? And it's gonna go and it's gonna do its thing. It's gonna do some searching. And then we can see the results here. Here are all the pods that are running. So really, really cool stuff that this gives me the ability to really understand, troubleshoot, observe, get information, and just about everything else within my Kubernetes environment. I really like that. Again, Kagent isn't just for that. I just like it because, again, I'm in Kubernetes land all the time. So having something helpful to troubleshoot and help me out definitely is a good thing. But I can create agents for anything. I can create agents for healthcare systems. I can create agents for financial institutions. I can create agents to do calculations. I can pretty much create an agent to do whatever I want, call out to an MCP server, which we're going to learn how to do that in a declarative fashion in another video in the series, and have it do whatever I want. I'm just running it and managing it and configuring it in Kubernetes, just like any other application stack.